3.5 years ago, I was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer. It was a very scary experience for me because it was an aggressive kind of cancer. The tumor itself was very aggressive, and I was not that hopeful at the time for a complete remission.
When I found out I had breast cancer, of course, there were a lot of things that upset me, but one of the things that upset me was that the doctor told me that because of the chemotherapy I would need to take, that I would probably lose all the hair on my body, even my eyebrows. And at the time I had very long hair, I could sit on it. So on top of everything else, you know, the fear about cancer, I had this concern about how I would look.
The doctors told me that even with chemotherapy, I would have 2 years to live. And I got the opinions of the top specialists in this area of lymphoma.
I feel that actually I overcame the whole entire experience of chemotherapy very quickly, so that after my 4th treatment, after the very first, say, 4 weeks after my 4th treatment, I was actually feeling quite back to my old self. I was swimming every day and playing tennis and going on very long walks.
I'd get the drug on Friday, and by Wednesday I was back taking my martial arts class. And I was taking dance classes too, so I was there, you know, doing my jumping jacks, and, you know, my hair was falling down on the ground around me a little bit because it did thin, but I was still able to maintain my normal activities. After a few days, I had to take off, but most of the time I was in chemotherapy, I felt almost normal.
Other people told me, wow, that woman took chemo and she was out for a week. And I just couldn't understand that. What do you mean she was out for a week? You know, she was on her back for a week, where I was up the next day. Am I not getting, you know, enough chemotherapy or what?
I have been taking Amrit Kalash the entire time, and 3.5 years later, I am completely cancer-free, and I feel very relaxed now about the cancer, and I don't fear its returning.
Well, I was very fortunate. I was taking Amrit when I was in chemotherapy, and I did not have a lot of the negative side effects, and I was able to lead a normal life.
I recovered, and it's way beyond the 2 years that they said I had to live, and I'm doing very well, and there's not a sign of cancer in me. And I think it's all because of Amrit.
Almost everyone knows that chemotherapy exacts a great physical, mental, and emotional cost. And until now, attempts to reduce the side effects associated with the treatments saw increased toxicity and a very limited result. Maharshi Amrit Kalash, an Ayurvedic herbal formulation, supports the body's ability to reduce multiple side effects. It helps to improve compliance during treatment and curbs free radical damage. Most importantly, in a recent clinical trial, patients who took Amrit experienced greater well-being than the control group. Leading cancer researcher Dr. Anurag Srivastav of the prestigious All India Institute of Medical Sciences conducted this groundbreaking research.
We took about 100 patients. Half of them were given anti-cancer drugs for breast cancer, and the remaining half were given, along with anti-cancer drugs, the protection by Maharshi Amrit Kalash.
Dr. Srivastava's research is done at the very prestigious All India Institute in New Delhi. It's really the Harvard of India for research. This was very high quality research that was done supporting really the use of Amrit Kalash to reduce the side effects of chemotherapy in cancer patients.
Doctors compared the control group to the Amrit group and found 26% fewer Amrit patients experienced loss of appetite. In addition, 30% more Amrit patients rated good for general well-being. Very important category of weight loss, the Amrit group actually maintained their normal weight.
Particularly in the area of the digestive disturbances, Amrit seemed to help people recover much more quickly and to have much less severe side effects.
When I was doing chemotherapy, I often had nausea after the first day, but because I was taking Amrit Kalash during that entire time, I do feel that it lessened the amount of nausea, and I actually talked to other friends who had undergone the same treatment, and they had quite a bit more nausea than I did.
My doctors were very surprised by how well I tolerated the treatment. I didn't become anemic, which was something they expected. I didn't lose all my hair, which they expected. I didn't go into menopause, which they expected. And I'm glad that Amrit helped me maintain my quality of life for myself and for my children.
I think that Amrit did help me get through chemotherapy in a much easier way than if I had not taken it. I think that my body recovered after each chemo treatment more quickly. I think that it enabled me to have more energy and to be able to do more of the things that I needed to do for myself.
Maharishi Amrit Kalash works very quickly. The onset of symptom relief is rather quick, and patients get almost immediate feedback when they start to take it, that they're doing the right thing.
I feel that the benefits I got from taking Amrit Kalash after chemotherapy or during my chemotherapy actually came right away, because I did notice that from the time that I hadn't taken it to the time that I did, that the benefits seemed to be there immediately.
Data from many US universities has shown that Maharishi Amrit Kalash is a rich source of many protective molecules called antioxidants. Antioxidants help our body in relieving or destroying molecules called free oxygen radicals.
It's well documented now that Amrit Kalash is a very effective free radical scavenger, much more effective than any other preparation that we have. And as such, at least it's consistent with the hypothesis that it's the free radicals that are formed from the chemotherapy that are causing a lot of the damage and thus the side effects that are produced.
I think it's because more than just its physical properties, it actually contains nature's intelligence, and it reminds our physiologies of how it's supposed to function. Just to give you an example, free radicals can damage on the level of the cell wall, on the cell organelles, or even on the DNA of the cell. And many free radical fighters can only act on one or two of those levels, whereas Maharishi Amrit Kalash has been proven to work on every level of the cell, and it's because it is such a profoundly natural and potent preparation.
Amrit can be really a light of hope. It can be a ray of hope for patients who are taking chemotherapy, because it can help them deal with the side effects of chemotherapy.
And it gives you the experience of increased well-being and increased health. One of my patients told me she laughed more after her therapy, during the chemotherapy and after, because she was taking Amrit Kalash, and it really improves that sense of well-being that's so vital to life.
I feel very comfortable recommending that doctors consider using Amrit to help reduce the side effects of chemotherapy, because it really does seem to make the patients feel so much better. They're very thankful to have something that gives them more energy and vitality and reduces the side effects of nausea and vomiting and such.
Now, I know that this is just my feeling, but I feel very strongly about this. I feel that Amrit Kalash has really saved my life.
I would recommend Amrit to anybody taking chemotherapy. I'm sure it helped me, and I did do better than predicted in almost every way.
I just started my treatments knowing that I had the support of Amrit and Maharishi Ayurveda